everyone, it's Miss Gabi from the Hedberg Public Library. Welcome back for this week's Teen Reads Tuesday. Today, I wanted to share some books that are perfect for our summer reading challenge. In case you didn't know, this year's summer reading challenge theme is Imagine Your Story. So it's all about folklore, fantasy, fairy tales, and mythology. But you might be thinking to yourself, I don't really like fairy tales and all the glitter and happy endings, right? Maybe they're too sweet for you. Well, don't worry, because the books I have to share with you today are definitely not filled with glitter. In fact, they are pretty dark. Let's take a look. The first book I have to share with you today is called The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. In this story, 17-year-old Alice and her mother have been running from bad luck their entire lives. It seems to haunt them wherever they go. But when Alice's famous grandmother dies and her mother is stolen away in the night, Alice discovers that her bad luck is no coincidence. Alice's grandmother is the famous author of a collection of very dark fairy tales called The Hinterland. Alice must go to her grandmother's now empty mansion, nicknamed the Hazelwood, to follow the trail of her mother's disappearance, find the truth behind her bad luck, and the story behind her own existence. If you enjoy The Hazelwood, be sure to check out the sequel, The Night Country, where fairy tales and fantasy collide, and the creation of fairy tales is one dangerous job. This next book is the first in the Folk of the Air series. It is called The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Author Holly Black is known best for her dark fairy tales and her expert tellings of magical and mischievous stories. In The Cruel Prince, we meet Jude, a human girl living in the world of fairy. Her parents were murdered by a redcap, and she and her sisters were stolen away to live at the fairy court when they were young. It is no easy thing for a human to live in the fairy world, and Jude must learn the tricks and skills to survive. Jude wants to earn a place as a knight in the fairy king's court, but deception, trickery, and attempts to end her life are hidden behind every glimmer of magic. The series continues with The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. You can find more books by Holly Black, including The Coldest Girl in Cold Town, The Darkest Part of the Forest, The Modern Fairy Tales, and more at blackholly.com. My next book is about a different kind of magic. This story is Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron. This book includes the Orisha magic of West African fantasy. Ara was born into a family of the most powerful witch doctors, but she has no magic of her own. This leaves her feeling out of place among her family and her people, who expect her to be the next magical leader of their kingdom. When the children of the kingdom begin to disappear, Ara does what she swore she would never do. She trades years of her life for access to the ancestral magic and have power of her own. As it turns out, giving up years of her life wasn't even the worst part. She discovers that what is behind the children disappearing is worse than she could have ever imagined. And to make that betrayal worse, the long slumbering demon king is stirring, making preparations to return and eat the world. His hunger for souls will destroy everything Ara holds dear, unless she pays the price to stop him. This story is set to be a trilogy. The sequel, Reaper of Souls, is set to be published in 2021. If you enjoy your fairy tales with gore instead of glitter, darkness and deception instead of happily ever after, then these books are definitely for you. For more dark fantasy stories, check out our Instagram page at HPL_teens or ask your librarian for recommendations. This has been another Teen Reads Tuesday. See you all next week.